Join us for the 65th 2022 CBS show here at the Hunting Library.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is our California Bonsai Show, and we're here at the Huntington Gardens, and I'm going to walk through a few things, give you a little critique, some information to share about these specific trees that we're interested. And so we're going to get started, and we'll do from the beginning here. This is our Tokonoma entry. It's kind of our honored spot of the show. This particular man who created this tree, his name is Shigmiya, and he just turned 100 years old in December, and so we had to put his tree here. We wanted to put his tree here, and so he came here yesterday, probably to check out his tree. I don't know, but he came here. He looked in pretty good shape, and he remembered who I was, so I guess he's doing okay mentally. But this is a Prostrata juniper, probably urban dory, dug out of the ground somewhere. And we believe he was training this for probably 50 to 60 years. So, but it could be that old before he dug it out. So we don't know exactly how old this tree is. And we, it's hard to find a scroll that fits this Tokonoma. It's kind of a smaller Tokonoma, so we came up with this evening moon scroll. Just simple because the tree is so dramatic. Okay, let's move on. This is Michael Roberts' cork oak. I started this tree maybe the size of about like this, my thumb size, only 25 years ago, which is amazing because I thought he was training this for 40 years maybe. But it's cork oak. It's the same cork oak that they use in parts of Spain or Portugal for the cork for bottles, wine bottles. And he has a really neat technique of keeping the tree healthy and dense, and so that's pretty hard on a big tree like this. So one thing I wanted to share is that we do a formal display here at this show. It's a display of like we looked at the Tokonoma. A lot of times there's three parts to the display: the scroll, the tree, and then the accent plant. But on a tabletop display, even though it's a formal display, we kind of imagine a scroll, but it's not there on our table. And so, so we have the tree and an accent. And what it does is the tree, all the trees have a certain lean to them. They have a certain movement. And so this movement of this tree goes this way because some of these lower limbs are kind of leaning out that way. Okay, the accent, on the other hand, needs to go toward the main tree, and so this kind of leans that way, and it's to create that feeling that, when you look at the whole exhibit here, your eye kind of ends up in the middle. If this was going that way and that was going that way, your eye would kind of go out like this, and it wouldn't be very homogeneous. So that's why we arrange it in this way. The other thing is, we only have 4 elements a lot of times. We have the tree and the stand, and the accent or kusamono and the stand it's on. So we try to get a variety in our 4 elements. So this is a nice pot with a contrasting stand. It's a little darker stand. This is a beautiful pot here with a different color stand. This is almost black. So there's enough of a variety here to make this a nice presentation. Okay. This tree here is a Hanoki Cypress, and maybe when Tom comes up closer, you could take a look. When I was growing this, I didn't realize Hanoki Cypress has such beautiful bark, and this bark here has kind of a ribbon kind of look. And some people go, you got to take that off and make it smooth, but I like that. It looks older that way. So I left the ribbon bark. We have watercress here, and we have kind of contrasting stands and everything, so this has a variety that works pretty good. Okay, let's go down this way. Excuse me. Wait, just a minute. Okay, I'm going to talk about this tree here. This tree is called potato vine tree or Solanum rantanetti. Some trees we grow from seeds, and we develop them and nurture them till they get really kind of on a good size. Other trees we dig out and remove from a garden. They may be 6, 7 times the size, and then we reduce it to fit in a pot. And that's what this has been done. This was dug out of someone's yard, a yard tree. I've never seen a potato vine this beautiful and this big. Usually they're sticks, So this is Takshimazu's tree. And anyway, it's a beautiful tree, and it's leaning that way. And he has this, now, he had to explain it to me a couple times, but this viewing stone is a moon, and it's a geisha girl. Now, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, it looks like a cat, But this is the geisha, and she's looking at the moon, and this is her sleeve. She's kneeling on the ground, and this is her sleeve over here. So, geisha looking at the moon. Anyway. Okay. Excuse me a second. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm proud to see this tree in our show. This is one of my students, Tom Lau's tree, the photographer here. Anyway, he's just starting to show a lot of his creations. And he's really good at getting trees that have nice nabari or root spread, beautiful taper. We have a variety of pots, 2 different kind of glazed pots and different stands. So this arrangement is very nice. The only suggestion, I'd like to see more open space in here so you could see the branches. But it's a beautiful tree called Kiyohime, Japanese maple. The thing about Kiyohime is the new growth comes out red on the tips, and then it turns green later. So in the spring, it's really vibrant. It kind of got more muted recently, but beautiful tree. Okay, we'll do one over here. Okay, this tree is called a one-seed juniper. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe the seed and there's one seed in the cone. But this was dug out of Tucson area, Arizona. And this is kind of what a California juniper looks like. Only the California juniper foliage is coarser. Normally it's a little coarser. But this is how it looks, maybe much bigger, in nature. But he's brought it down and developed this beautiful, almost like a double trunk tree. Tom Vaughn developed this. Okay, so the last tree I just want to mention is our another California tree. And we kind of consider this a masterpiece tree. Remember I was telling you that we have accent plants to go with our trees, right? We have it arranged it. But this tree is so spectacular. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's so spectacular, it doesn't need an accent. It's a standalone tree. This was a California juniper like the one we just looked at. I mean, it's similar foliage. But Mr. Mukai, I think about 60 years ago, dug this out of the Mojave Desert. And he grafted this Shimpaku Juniper on here to give it a real fine texture. And Shimpaku Juniper is really beautiful. You're able to make this cloud form pattern on the branches. But anyway, he created all this gin and beautiful gin up there and shari. And you know, if you look at it, you think, oh, someone added a piece of driftwood in there. But this is all the original tree. Probably was much bigger too. We estimate this tree to be anywhere from 800 to 1,000 years old. So and the pot is an antique Chinese pot too, which brings the value up. So recently, in I think the last couple of years, this man, Kyle Liu, purchased this tree from Mr. Mukai. I'm kind of jealous, but anyway, I'm not jealous because it's so heavy. I'm getting older, I can't lift these things. But anyway, Kyle is a young guy. He's in his late 20s, and so he has a lot of years to enjoy this tree. And maybe someday when he's really older, it'll make its way to the collection here at the Huntington. So that's it today. Thank you for coming and enjoyed talking.